Hi, my name is Megan Deister. I'm an occupational therapy student at the University of Kansas Medical Center, and today I'm going to be presenting on the final part of 3 parts for fine motor challenges. I encourage you to go watch the other 2 videos for mindful minutes if you want to learn more about fine motor challenges. So today I'm going to be talking about visual spatial skills. And so what are those skills? It's affected by cognition. And what it is a function of identifying, integrating, and analyzing the space around you through vision. So these skills are used for navigating environments, movement, as well as depth perception and many other things. And it's closely aligned with fine motor skills and affects how you carry out your fine motor skills. So some difficulties that one may face after they are diagnosed with a mild cognitive impairment or dementia, they may have increased difficulty navigating the environment and locating objects. And this can include wandering, so they might not recognize the familiar paths that they once took. They may be unable to recognize or identify objects and their purpose. This could also include faces or people. They might not recognize people or have a hard time thinking of their name. And this could also go along with trying to find something on, a cluttered cabinet or on a desk or something. They might have a pen right in front of them, but it might be more difficult for them to directly pick out and find a pen and remember what its purpose is. They might also have difficulty realizing their position in relation to other objects. This could also include cutting corners really close and bumping into things. Depth perception is impacted. You might see this if someone is going to sit down and they think that the drop to the chair is actually bigger than what it really is. And due to these difficulties, they may require increased time to complete tasks due to the affected attention and concentration that are affected by the visual spatial difficulties. So next, I'm going to be talking about some strategies for success for activities of daily living, so the things that you do each and every day. So the first step could be removing unnecessary and extra items from different places in your home. This can include the bathroom countertop, the kitchen, the shower, and this might look like only having, soap out on the countertop in the bathroom, and then having just their toothbrush and toothpaste out as well. Just those items that they need, and it should be very minimal to help them really focus on the objects that are necessary. And the same goes for the kitchen. Having a whole bunch of different appliances and different tools out can be very overwhelming. So really limiting those things, even when they're eating, limiting the amount of silverware that would be used during a meal could also be helpful. And the same thing goes for the shower, only having, shampoo, conditioner, and body wash, maybe even switching over to like a 3-in-1 soap, something like that, just to really limit the number of options and the number of things they're having to really scan to select. And so these are good strategies that may be more beneficial for those in the middle stage of dementia. Next could be providing visual aids or pictures to assist with different tasks. The first one could be dressing. This could look like putting a picture of a shirt and underneath typing out the word shirt, and then a pair of pants and underneath putting the word pants, socks, shoes, etc. For bathing, this could look like a step-by-step instructional page, which would be number 1, turning the water on. Number 2 could be putting soap in your hand and washing your hair. The third could be washing your body. The fourth one could be drying or turning the water off and then drying off, different things like that. And you could also use a similar idea for cooking meals. This could be through pictures or with words. It's very dependent on the person, whatever strategy may work better for them. But this could be something like how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So having picture of bread, picture of some peanut butter, picture of jelly, and different things like that, just for those simple meals that they might be still making on their own. And so this is also beneficial for people that are more in the earlier stage of the disease. So some continued strategies for success for those ADLs or activities of daily living. You could do written reminders about changes in routines. So this could be with appointments, different times with friends, if someone's going to meet a friend out for lunch or someone's coming over, having those written out somewhere that they'll see them so they have a reminder of the changes that will occur. There's also an earlier Mindful Minutes presentation on simplifying life that I would really suggest going back to watch. And another option would be something called Reminder Rosie or something similar. And Reminder Rosie allows you to actually record your own voice that sets reminders for your loved ones. It can be set to different times. And it's a good way to do like medication reminders. So this can be set for morning, lunchtime, dinner time, bedtime, anytime that your loved one might be taking medication. You can record your voice to go off at certain times, and you can even put in there maybe how many pills they're supposed to take or anything that would be beneficial for them. So next I want to move on to mobility and transfers. So mobility meaning anytime a person's up and walking or moving around, and transfers would be anytime they're going from one surface to another, such as sitting to standing, standing to sitting, from a chair, the toilet, anything like that. So since visual spatial difficulties affect depth perception, mobility and transfers may become more difficult. So some things in the home that might be helpful would be installing guardrails in high traffic areas, such as the hallway, to use as a guide while walking. Or you could also place some brightly colored duct tape on the floor, the walls, or on the stairs to help determine where the person is in relation to where they're stepping. So anything that kind of helps create a guide or helps them see contrast will really benefit them when they are walking down the stairs in the hallway. That would be one color. Anything to kind of really help them differentiate, where the wall is in relation to the floor is great. Another thing could be having them sit in a chair that has armrests, so they're able to physically place their hands on the armrest as they sit down, and this will help give some tactile input and give them something physical to help guide them as they go to sit in a chair. You could also place a brightly colored cushion on the chair to provide a visual target area, and again, that goes back to helping create contrast. If a chair is all one color, their vision might not really be able to distinguish the area they're supposed to sit in. So providing some kind of different color, this could be most likely a bright color that's very different than the color of the chair to help them see the area that they're supposed to be sitting in. And also installing grab bars around the toilet and shower chairs or your shower benches. And again, similar to armrests, this gives them something to hold on to kind of help them feel how close they are to a surface, and it's a safer way to lower themselves down as they go to sit on the toilet or in a shower chair. So continuing on with that, removing rugs and other items on the floor also lowers the fall risk. It might be difficult for them to see where the rug begins or if the rug's flipped up in any way. They could trip over it, their shoe could get caught on it if they're having trouble seeing the outline of the rug or distinguishing where the floor is from where the rug is. So removing any of those things that could move around is really good. Covering sharp corners on countertops or tables or anything like that. They do sell foam corners in a lot of stores, or you can order them online, or really any other soft material to avoid injury if they are really having trouble running into things. And then also giving some reminders or cues when they're close enough to sit in a chair. So this could be something as simple as, touching them on the back when they're close enough. Or you could say, oh, do you feel the chair on the back of your legs? Okay, then you're close enough to go ahead and sit down. Those are a couple things that you could do to kind of help them when they're going to sit, just to give them a little extra encouragement as they go to sit in a chair or a couch or anything like that. So next, I want to talk about health management. So some options here, you could create a visual for different days and times that there are appointments and placing reminders in the areas that people will see it. So I talked about this earlier, but going a little more in depth, this could look like you have a doctor's appointment at 12:30 and putting that on the mirror in the bathroom. Or you could also put, oh, your daughter's picking you up at 10 a.m. to go get brunch, and also putting that in the bathroom. Or you could put that in the kitchen, which would be kind of a natural reminder of, okay, I'm going to go get food with my daughter. I won't need to make breakfast this morning. So different things like that, and kind of placing them in areas that make the most sense for what they will be doing. Setting alarms for medication times. So kind of like I talked about, reminder Rosie is good. Could also do this on their phone, or you could also place an alarm clock near the medication box with a sign to cue the person. So this could look like having an alarm clock and say, at this time you take AM pills. When the alarm clock goes off the next time, you take your PM pills or afternoon pills, whatever that might look like. Something similar to Reminder Rosie, but it's just another alternative to that. Also, as far as medication, putting pictures of correctly filled medication box with the number of pills gives them something to reference, or even putting the number of pills that should be in each box might be a good idea if they're earlier on and you feel comfortable with them doing that. But it's always a good idea to double check if there's any worry or any concern that some medication might be taken. So anything that gives them a visual reference, but you can always double check as well. That just kind of helps them, maintain their dignity of still being independent and doing some of those things on their own. They also do prepackaged medication that can be sent to the home. This should be talked about with your doctor or the pharmacy, but these would just be delivered, and instead of sorting through each pill, this way they could just take either all like the AM pills and put it in a pill box, or just take the medication packet each day. And also making it an activity to do together. This could look like saying, oh, hey, like the doctor refilled your prescription, like let's go ahead and do this together to fill out your medication box together. Or saying, oh, we just got our prescriptions refilled, we might as well go ahead and make sure that our pill boxes are all full, and doing something together. So it also gives them a sense of independence, like I talked about earlier, but just giving it another way that you can also do it alongside them if they're maybe further on in the later or middle stage. So something such as grocery shopping and cooking. Some ideas for this: you could grocery shop during less busy times because the store won't be as busy, and so it'll be less overwhelming. Consider where items are in the store when making a list. So think about creating the list in order that the items might be found in this store. So if you walk in and see fruits and vegetables first, putting fruits and vegetables on the list first could be a good way to have them naturally go through the grocery store. And if they're doing this on their own, try and make it nice and concise for them, especially if they're, getting overwhelmed with the amount of items on the list. Maybe just put a couple items on the list and having them go find it while you go get a lot of the other things. Or you can also do it together, put them in charge of the list, and you can push around the cart, just so you can kind of make it a collaborative effort. So continuing on to that, if they are going grocery shopping on their own, or if they really want to, hold the items, consider using a basket if you don't have that many items on your list, because a cart, they might be running into things or other people because it's more difficult for them to see how close or how far they are from other people and the aisles or other displays. And so if safety with cooking is a concern, consider simple meals that don't require the use of the oven or stovetop unless there's supervision. So different things like salads or wraps. There's always some prepackaged food options at the grocery store that are easy to grab if they will be home during the day by themselves, just so safety isn't as big of a concern while they're alone. And then write down simple meal options for the person, as well as keeping it concise. You can use this in addition to those visuals that I talked about earlier. So putting pictures, or you can put words. And Make sure that, some of their favorite meals are in there. And this might look like having them heat up leftovers if you feel like that's a safe option. You can do that. And also have them do it with you. Ask them what kind of meals they would like to make on their own for lunch that week. And both of you can just make like a Word document or write it down. You can draw the pictures, you can print pictures and put it on a piece of paper so then they can have their own little cookbook for themselves on the days that they'll be eating those meals or making those meals by themselves. So I want to talk about doing other things in the home. One opportunity for them to be involved in laundry is to either pre-sort into different categories such as pants, shirts, or towels. Or if you want to do it together, you can do something such as, oh, hey, I will give you the pants to fold and I'm going to go ahead and put the shirts away, and breaking it down like that, just so they're able to still be involved in this process and maintain some sort of independence. As far as organization, removing unwanted items and extra items would be very important, especially if they're having difficulty scanning and identifying objects on a busy area. So that could be on top of a desk if they're having trouble finding a pen, if they're having trouble finding a fork on the counter. Removing those extra items will eliminate some of that confusion. Keep only what they will need and what they will use often. So in the bathroom, such as toothbrush and toothpaste, hairbrush, comb, and soap. Or if it's in the kitchen, maybe doing like a plate and then a fork or spoon. And then clear large paths for walking around the home. So kind of like I talked about earlier, just really taking away those extra items such as rugs and removing any clutter to make sure those larger paths are open for them. So another thing you can do would be limiting distractions. So if a person's cleaning and they're distracted, you can limit background noise, such as turning off TV, bright lights, different things like that. And I'll talk a little bit more about distractions on the next slide. So as far as limiting distractions, if a person is easily distracted, they might benefit from a calmer environment. And so you can consider any of these changes alone, or you can do multiple at once. It's totally up to you. So limiting the background noise, such as TV or music, if they do like to have some background noise, but they're still having trouble focusing, doing some kind of soothing music, such as classical music, might be a good option. Close shades or curtains if bright lights are shining in. This can interfere with the vision and can also be distracting for them and make it harder for them to see. And then any kind of distracting patterns, such as brightly patterned tablecloth at the dining table, that should be removed if they're having trouble identifying where their fork is or eating. It might be distracting for them. So you can always try to do a solid color as well. That could help with contrast. And then again, having the necessary items out on the countertop, that limits the amount that they will have to scan their entire environment and help them focus on the most important items. So one last thing, I just wanted to end on this, that all of these strategies might not work for everyone. You can kind of pick and choose what's going to be best. And some of these things might also work only for a window of time. But like I've talked about in the other fine motor challenges presentations, that it's really about helping them maintain a sense of independence and maintaining that dignity. So as long as they are able to participate and be as independent as they possibly can, then I think that is a great success. So thank you so much, and I appreciate you watching. Make sure to go back and watch the last 2 mindful minutes about the other 2 parts of fine motor challenges. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you so much.